Okay, guys, here we go. Thank you guys so much. It's been a while since I've done a live. And as you guys know, I have Haley here. And Haley, she has her mic muted, so she'll have to unmute that. And then she can say hello to all you guys. Hi,
Hello.
Haley. Hello. So thanks again, Haley, for this live. Appreciate it very much. And a happy New Year's Eve to everybody as well. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you. So before we get started, of course, please, if you haven't hit the like and share, please hit the like and share. It's for always Jack and Lily bringing awareness and attention to the case. Hope you guys all had a Merry Christmas and all that good stuff during the time. You guys know I haven't really, like I said, done a live in quite a while. Purposefully, I'm taking a break and stuff like that. But never do I ever forget about Jack and Lily and the quest for answers for Jack and Lily. So, just to preface a little bit about this, is that there's going to be some voice clips that are going to be played. Those voice clips are voice clips of Haley. So, and Haley, we have talked about this already, but it's apparent that there's other voice clips that have been shared. So, I do quickly want to say as well that there's a Globe and Mail article out today, and we'll talk about that later. So, Lindsay, thank you very much from the Globe and Mail. Great article, loved it. If you guys haven't seen it yet or read it yet, it was a really good article, and I think that there was some very key sentences in that article. Actually, Haley, let's just start off with that quickly. The article, just quickly.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, just go ahead and just quickly just say what you thought about the article that came out today by Globe and Mail.
I thought the article was really good. It kind of restored some hope that, going into the new year, that we may have the answers that we have desperately been looking for. Now, with that being said, I don't want to get my hopes up that, we'll have all the answers right off the hop, but I do hope for the fact of Jack and Lily that we have those, and, so we can grieve and what have you. If they come home, that be that. So
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is, you know what? I know we're going to get into the voice clips in a second, but so we started, I think, talking back in about July, I want to say. And if there's one thing, um, first of all, that I appreciated was the fact that you had talked to me. Um, and ever since then, up until this, of course, day. And but if there's one thing that always stood out was how much you were just wanting answers for Jack and Lily. And can I just ask you, so for the audience themselves, how has it been for you this, like, from the time that the disappearance happened up until this point, about your I don't know, just anything that you feel like you've been personally going through because of this case?
it's extremely hard. It's something that I would not want anybody to have to go through. It's something that, you hear about things happening, but not so close to home, not you, not your family. Um, just, it's been a hard 8 months. Like, we're 2 weeks away from the 8-month mark, and there's nothing that eases the pain of wondering what happened.
Yeah.
It's been really hard mentally, physically, trying to pull yourself up out of bed to get your days going, and but we have to do that, and we're doing it for Jack and Lily.
Absolutely. And, for me, that will be always the point, contrary to what anyone ever says to me. They can't take away who I am as a person. And the most important thing always is the victims of the missing and the murdered. And in this particular case, Jack and Lily. So most people know that I'm not into the whole drama crap that goes on. I consider it side noise. It doesn't mean like that I haven't heard or don't pay attention to, but it's always about, I'm not into getting into these little drama things of the he said, she said, this said, that said, and all that stuff. More about the facts and stuff that we know, and always said how important it is that when RCMP, the news, and family members are talking, that we should listen. Even if we take it with a grain of salt, it's still the people that you want to hear from, whether we deem it as truth or not. Jack and Lily deserve answers, they need answers. And I know that I'm not alone when I say that following this case for 8 months, I just feel horrible for two children and what has been going on with this case. It's not normal, it's not natural, and it's not how people would act, anyways. So, getting into the voice clip. So, I'm going to again preface this a little bit by saying, so back in August, I had asked, and the Drunk Turkey Show, Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show, to take a look at this case. He had joined me and Charmaine on a live, and I really wanted him to kind of see it from his point of view because he had said he had been a cop previously. And so we had been always good friends. And this isn't a shit on DT from the Drunk Turkey Show because, again, but the thing is that if we're going to play about transparency, then this is exactly what happened. So during amidst all the information I gave him, I sent him about 6 or 7 clips from Haley. And underneath that, it specifically said that this is a conversation between me and Haley. This is for private use only. And so back in about October, and again, so he ended up obviously, doing lives on the case. In about, I think it was like October 10th, around there, I heard him play a clip from those private things. And I distinctly remember that he started off by saying that these aren't his clips to play, but he's going to play a piece. And it was this clip about Malaya being drunk and, stuff like that, single Pringle, getting ready. And I, in my head, was going, wait a second. Like, the only way he could have had that clip is from me because I'm the only one that knew about that clip. But that particular clip, because that's the only one that he played that day. So anyway, so I scrolled all the way back to go like, holy shit, because I didn't remember at that time, because now it's been months, I didn't remember even sending those clips. And then I scrolled back and realized that there was like 6 or 7 clips. So I let Haley know because I just wanted to be forthright and said, hey, Haley, I had sent Daniel some clips. There was a piece that he had played on his thing, and rightfully so. I mean, obviously, Haley was a little bit upset with me, but I didn't want to take away her trust. And that's why I just wanted to admit it. I'd forgotten about it, but I wanted to admit that. And then, so recently, the rest of her clips are going around. Well, the only way that those clips could be from anyone is if DT, Drunk Turkey Daniel, shared them. So not only did I feel like he threw me underneath the bus the first time by playing Haley's clip, then he threw me underneath the bus with Brad Wong and showed a portion of this piece that I said. And then he apologized profusely for that. And he said it's because he detested Brad Wong. And so when then a couple times recently, I received messages, from Haley about, hey, about the clips, right? And I'm like, Haley said she had deleted it, blocked it, type of idea. And I was like, not even sure which clip. I didn't even really ask her because I just assumed it would have been those clips from there. And then I had another person message me and say the same thing. And I was like, okay, well, what the heck? And it was kind of one of those things is that I was like, okay, well, there definitely was like 6 or 7 clips I had sent DT, But obviously, these private messages he decided to share with his special group of friends, or at least probably Angeline or who knows. But anyway, there's that group, um, and whatever their fight for is Brad Turners of the world and shit like that. Again, I don't really get into the drama, but me and Haley were talking about it, and next thing you know, it's just like, well, let's just do a live on it because, like, although she did not want these clips, and like I had told the Drunk Turkey show, so I'm just gonna quickly play a couple things and preface, and then we'll get into Haley's clips, and then Haley can talk about it. You know what? Again, it's this. This is just about being truth and transparent. So if he wants to share these clips that were private and break trust so many times again, then whatever. We're just gonna sit here. You actually physically have Haley here um, to discuss those clips that are
And I
out there.
mean, they're pretty self explanatory as well. You have asked me some questions, I answered back to them. Now, with that being said, like I answered them with, confidentiality, like that they weren't
Yeah.
going nowhere, which you explained, yada, yada, we're over it. It is fine. There is nothing in this case that is being said that isn't going to be out there. Like hell or high water here, everything's going to be out. It is what it is. I will say from the beginning when DT did play that little clip, which was me talking about, Hayden drinking, getting drunk, Malaya having a few drinks, I didn't agree with it. But hey, that's not for me to really agree or disagree with. It is her life. She is going through a lot. He did end up removing that once I reached out to him, but he wanted to have a conversation with me and I wouldn't conversate with him. So this has got me feeling kind of like, okay, she won't talk to me. She's not giving me any ins from
Or
her.
you're kind of cutting out a little bit, Haley.
So let's just go, do her dirty in a way.
Mm-hmm. Haley, you were cutting out just a little bit there, just so you know. Are you better now?
Oh, just the end there. I said that I said what I said, and I said it with my whole chest, and everything that I said has come from either something I was told from Malaya, something I have heard, something I have gathered myself. Like, it's no crazy secret. I knew it'd be out there, but I didn't think somebody would, want to throw shade at me that way, which is fine. We're here now. We're going to go through them. It is what it is.
Yeah, and not
we're
and,
here
and just
for Jack and Lily.
Yep, absolutely. Jack and Lily.
At the end of the day, so
these clips were from like August 14th and 16th. So meaning like conversations have, been ongoing, but these were from like August 14th and 16th, again, like meaning that's when, they must have been around that time because obviously I send them to myself. So just like I have all of Janie's clips. So I'm just going to make this bigger on the screen. And so I just want to just quickly show this part. So I had said, let me just put this.
I want to say, I sent you about 6 or 7 clips at the very start when I asked you to look in the case. I've never played those clips. I've never talked about those clips at all. Right? So that stuff about the drunk and all that, that was never supposed to be played because I said it was in privacy for those clips. I've never talked about those clips to anyone or brought them up. I've said a few things here and there, but always never referencing that they were from Haley or the clips or stuff like that. So those ones I sent you, underneath of it, it literally said that those are for privacy only. As for the girlfriend, she sent me a stack of stuff and stuff like that.
Okay, so that was referring to obviously Taylor. So I was really upset again about this when he played that clip, hence why I sent this message. Now, he said, Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show said, I talked about it. I played a part, but don't think it was that part. I played literally 5 seconds. I did talk about her claiming Malaya was drunk, etc. I talked about how she said folks in her family believe Durwood, which if some of her family believes him, it's surprising Daniel believes some sort of version. What I did play is what you played on your show, which was no, that wasn't not true. I played, so just to again preface that, I played the 4 clips that Haley let me play when I asked her questions. In no way, shape, or form have I ever played one of Haley's clips that were private ever on a live. So that to me was just, I don't know, double talking, because he said at the start of that live, like, or when he was talking about it, he had literally said, these aren't my clips to play. But yet he went and played a bit of one anyway and talked about stuff that was private. So of course I was hurt, right? Because I've never shared anything of Daniel's, and I trusted him wholeheartedly with everything. Well, my bad, because obviously now we got about 7 clips out, I guess. And so he goes, I didn't play it for more than a few seconds, just so folks didn't think I was lying. Now, I did preference the reason I wasn't playing them is because I don't know the context, and I prefer to talk to her myself. I got her number, reached out, but didn't get a response. And so again, the
clip that I played 4 clips from Haley, right? Because as you know, I talk with Haley. I played 4 recent clips where I just simply asked her a question and then whatever response given back. And then you said, well, I have some clips too. Now, I sent you those clips in privacy, though. I've never played any part of that clip at all. So I've never sat there and ever played and said anything about Malaya being drunk and Hayden being drunk and that clip. Those were all private clips.
So I'm going to ask you, Daniel, if you can edit that part out. I just said it was given to you in privacy, and I'm just shocked that I literally heard a piece of that clip being played, and talked about a bit. Because if, obviously the one person that I truly, truly trusted was you, when I was giving information all about the different stuff to do with the case and stuff like that. Yeah. Anyways, okay. Okay, so that was 1 second here. Okay, so that was that. I just wanted to show you because that was back in October. And like I said, didn't play a clip. So I felt like I was, obviously betrayed at this point. But Haley reached out to him as well. He, removed it. But that, I guess, didn't stop the next 7 clips from coming out on there. So I'm just going to bring this one down. Stop. And Haley, just cut me off at any point. And I'm just going to go to, okay, this one here. So I think, whoops, 1 sec. I'll play this first, I guess.
Spoke to Malaya regarding that car. She knew nothing about it. She even went to the major crimes fella that's working with her and asked, like, why the hell didn't I know about this, that you guys were following up on this tip? They didn't even let her know that. But she's saying that she had no knowledge of this car thing happening during that night.
Okay. So I think that one's kind of self-explanatory. Really. I mean, nothing much to it about the car type of one. The next clip, Haley, will be the one that Daniel played a portion of. So I'll play that one next. Sorry. You still with me there, Haley? Just to make sure.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. So 1 second. Let me just.
She was okay. So yesterday when Cindy called me, I could tell that she was really upset And I kind of asked what was going on. So Saturday night, Hayden wanted to go over to her house. She wasn't home. She was working at the hospital. She's an LPN. Anyways, so Cindy said, yeah, go over home, go feed the horses, let the dogs out, whatever. So Malay and Hayden headed over, which is fine. They both stayed the night there. Cindy got back in the morning. Malaya was gone. Hayden was passed out on the couch. There was 2 full bottles of vodka gone, liquor strewn across the house, things in a disarray from Hayden and Malaya. Like, disrespectful as shit. Like, Cindy lost her absolute God forbid fucking mind. And no, Malaya is not one bit upset. She's walking around, prancing around like her shit don't stink. She's done up to the nines daily, makeup, full outfits. Like, as a mother myself, if my children were missing, somebody would physically have to drag me out of my fucking bed. I would have lost my apartment by now because I wouldn't be working, I wouldn't have an income, like I wouldn't know what to do. The only thing that's saving Malaya for money, well, is her grandmother, of course, but also the India Brook band gave her thousands of dollars in gas cards, grocery cards, and everything. And she's literally just walking all over them. She doesn't even stay out there in the place that she has. She's either at Cheryl's or in town at Patty's. And Malaya can't even speak without Cheryl butting in or something, even the family. And like, I know Cheryl because her sister dates my brother and has kids with him. But it's a little fucking ridiculous. I was with them, I don't know, a few weeks ago. We were putting out flyers for Jack and Lily, and Malaya's phone would go off, and Cheryl would put her password in and check her phone before she got to check it. Now, tell me that's not fucking control, and why, I don't know, because Cheryl and Malaya were never really friends before. Malaya was more friends with Shelby, which is Cheryl's sister that dates my brother and has kids with.
Okay, so that will be the biggest clip of information that, go ahead, if you want to say something to this one. Again, this was back in August, but anything you want to add to this one, Haley?
It's pretty self-explanatory, you know, the emotions were still raw. There was things that I seen that, you know, as a mother myself, didn't align with, you know, how somebody should be acting. But in the long run, when I sit back and I think, like, I shouldn't be judging somebody, or, you know, everybody goes through things different. And if that was her way of trying to, you know, show her emotions, which was getting done up, doing things with people, you know, maybe I shouldn't have said so much. I don't know. But like, you know, the drinking and stuff at that time was kind of like, why? You would think you'd want to have like your full wits about you and you're full in looking for your children. And I didn't feel like at that point she was there. And maybe that was her, you know, ridden by sadness and not knowing what path to follow. But yeah, I mean, it's there. I said what I said, you know, so.
Yeah. And, you know, and yeah. And so, yeah, it is what it is. And again, you know, Haley said it at the end of the day, like I said, this is still my fault. I'm the one that trusted that all the information about everything I sent Daniel was to be private, you know? So I do feel absolutely betrayed, but I also feel like I betrayed Haley's trust because I had sent those out there, totally forgot about them, had to own up with it when I realized and scrolled back all that time I did. But I am grateful that Haley is, she didn't block me. She's, you know, I'm sure inside there's some, you know, being like, shit, Sonny, because I remember saying something like that, like, fuck me, Sonny.
I did take a break away from answering you. I ignored you a few times. And I was just like so pissed off. And I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, Jack and Lily are innocent in all of this. And somebody knows something out there. So if me roughing some feathers is the way to go about it, then whatever. I think by now everybody knows how I feel and what I truly want out of this case. And, you know, if this gives me some backlash, so what? What can't I handle at this point?
You know, and kudos for that, and thank you. Because honestly, I mean, internally, of course, I felt bad. Absolutely, right? Because again, it was just something to give DT some information about kind of what Malay is kind of doing, and besides what Haley's saying there, because obviously everyone has their own thoughts about this case. Um, I still, to me, the two people that need to answer up here is Malaya and Daniel. And Janie, she can take her shovel and shove it up her ass for all I personally care. At the end of the day, two people were in charge of looking after Jack and Lily. And how I've been watching this case this entire time is odd. It's strange. It seems deceptive, manipulative, in so many ways. So my own personal thoughts, you guys know what I feel about this, and I'm just waiting for personally RCMP to do their thing, come up with the answers for us, bring a conclusion for Jack and Lily. But these two children deserve so much more than what we're seeing from either of these parents. And that's what I got to say about that. But anyways,
And to keep in mind, these are from August, a very raw time still of not knowing, very, very high emotions. Not that there's still not high emotions. It's just, I guess.
Shoot.
I didn't know how
Haley, your internet's gone wonky.
Cope with
again.
What was happening in amongst my life and with.
Haley, you muted yourself. I don't know if she realizes that she's muted. Maybe she muted it on purpose for a second. You guys, I know sure her internet, it seems to go a little bit wonky there. Maybe she had to step away for a second. Not really sure. Anyways,
okay, am I back there now? The computer's like lagging a bit.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because you were cutting out again. Obviously, just a little bit of bad reception sometimes. I think you're good now, eh?
Yeah, I can hear everything now. The screen's back. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I think if I remember near the start of our conversations, again, if there's one thing that was clear, I think in general, the family just wanted answers, right? And there was no answers. And the family is wondering what the heck happened, right? Well, obviously we heard Wade's video and different stuff like that, but that's really the bottom line of it. For the people that had nothing to do with Jack and Lily and their disappearance, my heart goes out to every family member that just wants answers for Jack and Lily. Family members, friends, teachers, bus drivers, all those people that really care and want answers, the community for Jack and Lily. Okay, so let's see. That was that one. Was that one? I think. Okay, so then is this
Starwood O'Grady or Darren, whatever the fuck his name is, all the time, and she believes him. So Hayden's name must be under my name and Patty's phone. So I get a phone call one day from this number that's not saved in my phone, and all I heard on the other end was, "Hayden, get your fucking ass back here." And I'm like, "This ain't Hayden." I'm like, "This is Haley." She's like, "No, I called Hayden. This is Patty." I'm like, "Well, you called Haley Patty. Like, she's old and like senile and she's drunk herself." But I was like, "No, you called Haley." And she's like, all she said was, "Where are the kids? We know you have them." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" She's like, "Darwood's right," or something. Like, she's fucking delusional. The whole fucking family, like, nobody's getting along right now. Malaya and Hayden are siding with Patty. Cindy had to cut them off fully because they're being nasty to her. And yeah.
Okay. Now, go ahead with that one. I know you know sometimes words can, again, these were never supposed to be played, okay? Uh, but
Which is
anyways,
whatever. I could have worded things a little nicer for Patty. She does have an issue with alcohol. I grew up with an alcoholic father. I have no tolerance for it. I call it as it is. And maybe that's part of my issue here. I don't know. But like Darren Geddes or whatever his name was conversating with Patty a lot, and she was kind of, she's older and was sick, and she just kind of sided with him. And then there was a point there that Malaya and Hayden kind of got, Cindy has rules. Cindy's a good mom. Cindy's a good person, and she has rules, and sometimes those rules weren't being followed. So it was easier to, sway to Patty and get what they needed or stay where they needed to stay, right? So that's part of where that came from. Again, this is how I was feeling at that point. And keep in mind, Darren Geddes or whatever was, threatening me if I kept talking and stuff. So
yeah. So remember Daniel was too in the chat, in that private chat. Remember that? When Daniel's basically like telling you to shut your mouth, and you're like, LOL, basically. Like, really? Like, if you stop talking,
well, I do recall that, but it's like everybody else can talk, so why can't I?
Yeah.
It's like how I felt, and like I don't know. So
well, just to confirm, so you don't have the children stashed away somewhere, do you?
I absolutely do not, but at this point I wish that was the case. I wish I had some answers. I wish Jack and Lily were home and things were normal, because they're not normal, and it's very hard to continue to keep going with nothing.
Absolutely. And you don't believe that they're on the reserve anywhere hidden by the First Nations, all right?
Absolutely not. Like, that from the get-go was just, left ballpark for me. Like, where does something like that even come from?
Yeah.
That's never been the case. Although, people were hopeful that was, but that's never been.
I was going to say, right, on a hope and a miracle and a prayer, would love to know that these children were trafficked or given away to somebody or stuff like that. But none of that made sense at all, right? And everything is always what we call Occam's razor. The closest line to the truth is the truth. Almost 100% of the time, it's going to be always certain situations. And usually in cases like this, it's usually going to be family members or someone close to the family that's involved. But answers. At this point, it's just like you just want, well, at any point, you just wanted answers. The longer it's gone on, the more obviously, I personally don't believe these children are alive anywhere. Myself, Belinda doesn't believe it. Most people don't believe it. Especially as time has gone on. There's no reward that's been taken. There's no sign of seeing Jack and Lily, all those things, right? Anyone following true crime usually knows the answers and the outcome. And it's really hard to think about that. But at the end of the day, family still needs answers regardless. Put some closure, move on and to a next step and stuff like that. It's heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. So let's see here. I did that one, this one. So I think this is the next part.
There is a comment here from Mew Brunswick.
From who?
Okay. 506. She said at this point, almost 8 months later, Malaya has no knowledge of what happened, and she's fighting for answers just like the rest of us.
So someone said that in chat, you're saying? New Brunswick? Oh.
Yeah, they asked at this point almost 8 months later. Yeah.
Okay, that's what you're answering. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, if there's something you see, just ask. Okay. Let's see here.
I did.
explain.
Okay.
1 sec.
Okay. So about the dog part, I thought Jamie's dog was like a beige brown. That dog that she brought out of the camper in the CTV video was black and white, wasn't it? I'm almost certain her fucking dog was beige. So that dog that she brought out of the camper the day for her CTV news interview was not her dog. So that's the weird part that I've been thinking the whole time.
Haley, I'll just ask you about that because Belinda swears that the dog that Janie has was not the dog that was in the trailer. And you kind of said the same thing. And I don't know what it is about this dog because, you know, Janie wouldn't let people go in her trailer. Go ahead. Go ahead, Haley.
So the dog that I recall seeing the day of the search was beige. Now, the one in the CTV clip or whatever it was that she did, that did not look like the same dog. For one, the dog she had didn't like Jack and Lily, and Jack and Lily didn't really bother with that said dog. But yet, when she was searching for Jack and Lily, Janie took the dog into the woods. But like, if the dog didn't like the kids and the kids didn't like the dog, why would you even want to do that?
Don't you think it was strange, Haley, that, I mean, just from a perspective when, like, because, you know, Belinda has spoken, you know, during her time while she was at the search, and just how odd it was that the cop lady was saying to, like, Janie, like, don't worry, Mom, they just want to, you know, check inside the trailer, blah, blah. But most normal people would say, you know, no problem, right? 2 children are missing. Let me just go get my, like, they would have just said, no problem. Let me just get my dog out of there, you know, and go ahead and search. Like, that would have been the normal thing to have said. Not.
You would think. I don't recall any of those happening with me present right there.
Right. It was Belinda. Yeah. Go ahead. Were you going to say something else there, Haley? Is your internet gone wonky on you again? Haley?
I think it has the whole time, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. So that was that one. And then let's see.
Swing down there tomorrow or not. I have 4 Airbnbs checking out between today and then I have another 4-bed turnover tomorrow. So I don't know if I'm going to have the time to get down. If I recall correctly, she said it was 4 a.m. I confused myself there after all this came out that Daniel was up till 12 a.m. His own words is what he said. So I probably confused that. I'm almost certain Malia said it was like 4 a.m. or so in the morning. She caught him doing that in the bathroom. She walked back down, went to bed. Cindy asked her, well, why didn't you peek in the kids' rooms and check on them? She said it was dark. I didn't bother. Just went back to bed. So that's how that went.
Okay. So this one I would like to try to clarify, if you don't mind. So from Belinda, Malaya told Lana that she woke up like a little after 12 or around 12, and Daniel was doing meth in the bathroom. And so, and I know originally kind of when we talked, it was around the same thing, but then you said 4 a.m. So I just kind of wanted to clarify that because I know that not everything, like you're just trying to remember, but not that it's as clear as mud, like that it's 100% ingrained that it was 4 a.m. per se. It was just, I think, your recollection. Do you still believe it was 4 a.m. that was said, or do you think it was more after the 12 mark?
What when I was told this, the time that was told to me was around 4 a.m. So,
Okay.
and this is a statement that Malaya has also told somebody, and then she's like, no, I didn't say that. But
Mm.
it came from a really reliable person that she firsthand told it to, and that person told me.
Gotcha. Okay. And same thing like with Belinda. Like it was Lana had been having conversations with Malaya, and then Lana would talk to Belinda, and said same thing virtually. Just the timing was a little bit different, but again, it's what you would deem as still what you would deem as more of the credible information. So basically, even regardless that maybe the times are a bit different, the same thing was being said by two different people in a sense, by a few. So which makes me believe that at some point, unless that's just a pack of the lies going on anyway, it would lead me to believe that, yeah, Daniel was doing meth. And Daniel, I think he went from saying he didn't do meth, and all that stuff. Then on DT show, he started getting put on the spot. And even when DT kind of cornered him, it was just like, well, it was before Jack and Lily went missing. And it's like, dude, the article from Globe and Mail, there's literally a picture of you 10 years ago with your friend with a needle in his hand on your freaking Facebook page. So, dude, my niece has been a user of meth on and off since she's been 15 years old. She's clean now. At the time, right? For whatever it's been now, a year and a half or so like that. But I had her on the live once, Haley, because I don't understand meth. I don't know what meth is. Like, meaning I don't know reactions or actions of someone that does meth and stuff like that. But bottom line is, who was it? Was it you, the one that said, oh, is that why you were tweaking, running around with your head cut off? Was that it was you that said that in that, was it Hidden in the Fog, I believe? Remember when you were saying to Malaya, like what the fuck is going on here? And then she admitted to you that Daniel has been doing meth for the last couple of years. And then you said something like, oh, that's why you've been running around with your head cut off like a chicken all day. Do you remember that? Haley, can you hear me?
I didn't catch anything you just said.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your internet was perfect when we started, but anyways, I'm just talking about the time when you were talking about you telling Malaya like what the fuck is going on. She says that Daniel's been doing meth for a couple of years, and Daniel was denying doing any drugs at first, and then as months have gone on, it was like, well, yeah, I mean, I was doing some basically once. DT kind of cornered him on the live that one day. He's basically like saying, yeah, well, it was before Jack and Lily went missing. But just to ask you personally, just from the information you've heard and I've heard, do you believe that Daniel was doing meth that night? Ah, darn it.
From what I was told from Malaya at the end of the driveway there, when she broke down and started talking about that, then yeah, the dots all connected. And with the bathroom scenario there, yeah, I strongly believe that.
Yeah, same. I mean, to be honest, just to ask you another thing before the clip, do you believe about the vehicles, Brad Wong, Justin Smith? Do you believe of yourself about the vehicles being heard that night by two different people? Did you hear the question, Haley? Or did you cut out again? Haley, can you do me a favor? If you can hear me, can you pop out and then pop back in on the link? That might fix your issue. Can you hear me, Haley? Hey, well, Haley, if you can hear me, just try to pop out and then pop back in, like meaning back out of the live and then come back in on that link again. Obviously, the internet's going wonky for her. Okay, so let's see here. While that's happening, I'm going to play the next one.
I don't know if I have time to
Or not.
swing down there
Sorry.
tomorrow.
I already played that one. Is it this one?
Was going on. Daniel was driving Malaya's white Nissan Pathfinder. I believe hers is like a 2016, 2017. So it looks a lot different than the brand new ones, of course. But that's all I seen him drive. And then Malaya did confirm that there was a guy that came there the day of the search that was apparently searching with Daniel at some point too. And that said person, I'd have to find his name again, but Malaya did say that was the guy he was getting dope off of. Now, I don't want that to go anywhere. I will grab the guy's name for you. I have it back in messages between somebody, maybe even Malaya, I forget. But she did confirm that one of the guys that was searching with Daniel was a dealer that he was getting stuff from. So,
okay, let's see if Haley can pop back on here. 1 sec. Fortunately, a little bit of, right, chance. So you guys already know, sorry, was it Chance? And he was in the documents on there. So again, right, I just want to reiterate. So these were private messages sent to Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show back in August 30th, as a matter of fact. They were never to be played. They were just, oh, let's see here. I wonder if that's better. Haley entered this. Is that better, Haley? Can you hear me?
A little bit for now, yeah.
Yeah, I won't keep you too much longer here. So that was just the next one was about you talking about, about the drug dealer, for Daniel, which we know his name in the documents, Chance Lays, blah, blah, blah. It's been out there for a while. Other people have already brought it up. Again, as I was saying quickly, these clips were supposed to be private, but because Daniel felt the need to share them with certain people, obviously in this messenger group or whatever together, whoever he shared them with, obviously they got passed around, and they're going to make it out there. So Haley was gracious enough to join today, because it's like, you know what, she said what she said, and it's not like there's any sort of solving of Jack and Lily's case, but he broke the trust, so we're getting ahead of it. Bottom line is, just playing some of the clips. I sent Daniel about 6 or 7 clips, just playing those clips because they're out there anyway. So that's what we're talking about. Just quickly, Haley, only because somebody just asked us. The 7th person, I had asked you about the 7th person polygraphed in there. Now, Patty was the 7th person. Now, you had said Patty a long time ago as well. But a lot of people were picking up on that interview with that RCMP dude in the article where they said 7, and everyone's kind of going like 7. So Cody, Malaya, Daniel, Janie, Wade, Cindy, and Patty. Those are the 7 people that were polygraphed, correct?
Was that a question for me? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I just listed off the 7 people. So the 7th person was Patty.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I narrowed it down to as well.
Yeah. Which made sense, right? So there was no big secret there. I think everyone was like, well, who's that seventh person out there? Now, okay. So so that's the one I just played. So what's this one?
Like, I was close with Malaya, but there was that 2-year gap that I didn't see her or the kids because Daniel made her cut everybody off. So like, yes, Lily and Jack are missing. Like, I don't know what to say when I speak to a news reporter because I do want to speak to Lindsay, but like, I don't know what the fuck to say. Like, I cry about it all the time. Like, do I say that stuff? Do I say like I'm disappointed with like how things are going? But I have.
I don't think and that was like a bonus one.
If I
there.
can remember correctly, I'm pretty sure he was driving a dark colored vehicle, black, the guy that was searching with Daniel, and it was louder. I can't say for sure that it was standard, but I drive a 6-speed myself, so I know what a standard is. Yeah, so I'll go grab his picture right quick, send you that so you can see what this creepy motherfucker looks like.
Okay, so that was in conjunction with the last one. The last one that was played was actually not part of those clips. That was just, Haley's been I think that could have been Haley's 4 messages when we were talking about shit. But anyways, so that again was about Chance Lays. And again, we'll use the word allegedly. He is obviously in the documents and stuff like that. But those were the clips, okay? If anyone tries to claim that there's more out there, well, give me receipts because I keep hearing shit. So give me receipts. Oh, Haley, by the way, just quickly, when I was listening to the actual audio you sent me, one of the clips in there was of me. 1 second here. Stop. Video file. Where is it? Downloads. Come on now. Video file. It was video file. The heck? Which is where did it go? Wait, am I missing it? 1 second here. It was. Oh, that's so cute. 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Video file. Okay, this one here, I think it was. Yeah.
The day that all.
Okay, so this is what was sent to Haley, to Cheryl, whatever, right? Again, they only could have come from one spot, which was Drunk Turkey Daniel. So if someone wants to talk about not being trustworthy, someone needs to know that 3 times he put out information. And not only did he do that, but he also sat there and made a comment on one of his lives with Dr. Ivana and Daphne, which I thought was absolutely inappropriate. He was saying that me and Charmaine was saying these things and stuff like that. But anyways, he basically said, what am I lacking clicks and views and stuff like that. And that how Brad Wong would even talk to me and stuff like that. Just really hitting below the belt. And whatever. And it was very ignorant. A lot of people said, Sonny, I'm so sorry about it. I don't care. He can say what he wants, but he showed me his true colors by 3 times trying to, and this one here by just, you trust somebody thoroughly, which I did. And zero respect at all. So, but Haley, there was this one message. Let me just see if I can get it. It was, I want to say it was here. 1 second. Play. Wait.
I don't know if I have time to swing down.
Okay. That's fine. Haley, 1 second. Haley, remember there was that point when you said something about talking and I might as well just let her talk. So that clip in there was me talking about Daniel just I'm sure you've probably listened to it now, but that was me talking about Daniel, and I said something like, if Daniel's going to keep talking, and it's kind of like a 50-50. I know he's using me, I'm using him, and if he wants to keep yapping. So just to clarify, that wasn't anything about you. That was a total clip about Daniel that they put in there that I was referring to for that. But anyways, um, with that, Haley being said, we've played the clips. Is there anything that you wanted to say at all for Jack and Lily, for anything else?
No, I don't think there's anything more other than I hope that we have some answers and, the case can be closed and things can move forward.
Yeah, absolutely on this. And again, well, I know you got to get going because I know this is New Year's Eve, everyone. You guys, and Haley's audio is going wonky on her too. But Haley, I just want to say thank you very much for, again, tackling these clips. That I'm the one that obviously set them to DT, that people are trying to, put out there now. So thank you for still loving me, and for fighting for Jack and Lily. I know how much you guys want answers. And other than that, all I can say is thank you. Thank you for fighting for Jack and Lily, and for believing in me as well.
Yes, thank you. And, thanks to DT. I will just say that because, it is what it is. But anyways, content's content. It's beautiful that Jack and Lily's name's still out there. I appreciate that so much. And if this is meant to get out, then it's out there. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so I'm going to still stay alive for a little bit with everyone. But Haley, have a happy New Year's Eve. And thanks you again for so much. And of course, prayers for Jack and Lily and answers. Thank you, Haley.
Thanks.
Okay, have a good day. All right. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately, her audio was getting very bad there on that. But I'm glad that that Haley, like I said, if DT is going to share these private messages and stuff like that, then when people throw lemons, make lemonade, right? For that. So thanks, Haley, very much. And again, prayers to everyone that really is invested in finding answers for Jack and Lily on there. And I'm kind of one of those ones, like, again, if it was meant to be, it was meant to be. Obviously, through breaking trust or whatever, these voice clips are out there. But, Haley's like, I said what I said. So, hey, let's talk about it. So, the next thing I want to share with you guys is that article. And by the way, so I was going to say, Haley has done, she's been on Hidden in the Fog, and she's talked with Lindsay from the Globe and Mail. Her and Cheryl both have from that, but if there's one thing that's true, and Brad Wong knows this only too well, and a lot of other people, is that when you're trying to be a voice for Jack and Lily, there's so many people that keep trying to tear you down. And you're trying to do good things and bring awareness and information. So it is hard because people are always getting attacked every which way, doesn't matter what. So a long time ago, if Haley ever wanted to join a live, she could, absolutely. Unfortunately, or fortunately perhaps, it was because of, again, private information. But also, by the same token, again, it is what it is. So I really appreciate the fact that, she was just like, yep, let's get it out there, talk about it, because, Bottom line is that you guys know full well that even if you guys hadn't heard those voice clips yet, they would be coming to you soon, right? And why not kind of take away from the horse's mouth that basically shared these private messages, and just talk about it with the actual person that said these messages. So again, thanks to Haley. Okay. Let me go to just 1 second here, guys. And thank you guys all for being here again. Happy New Year. Hope you guys had a Christmas. Oh, I also got to say this. Did I let you guys down? Absolutely. I did not complete Jack and Lily's ornament video. I make no excuses, even though I have a bunch, but I did not complete it. So for people that are wondering about that, I literally did not keep my word on this one. And then Christmas passed. My niece was here for a few days with me as well. Bottom line is I didn't complete it. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll complete it for New Year's. And then I'm like, then I was just more going, no. I mean, I didn't do it. Didn't do what I said on this one. I feel badly that I didn't complete it. So I'm just going to tackle that as well. Okay. So with that, saying that, I'm sorry that I didn't complete that. Will I complete it? I will. But I just want to let you know that I do feel bad that I actually did not keep my word on that, because I always like to keep my word, and I just couldn't. I couldn't keep my word on this one. So sorry. And so 1 second here. Now, I just want to say this. In regards to these clips and DT putting out private information to others, granted, I feel like it's a betrayal. Absolutely. He can think that he was betrayed. I don't even see how that's possible, to be honest. But, I've never shown anything of DT's ever. But this really wasn't like DT can, like, he does his own thing, and whatever he wants to do or be proud of or not proud of, that's totally on him. But I'm not going to get into no drama shit about DT and stuff. Like I said, if he wants to put these out and we're just being transparent about these clips and where they came from and how it all came about, type of thing. But I'm not going to get into no freaking spitting war. I sent him a message like the last time he did the live, and I basically said something like, do it to me once, shame on me, but do it to me 3 times, no, well, I mean, shame on you, do it to me once, do it to me twice, do it to me 3 times, shame on me for actually having that type of trust in somebody on there. And then he basically sent back a message, for the most part, just basically saying, don't talk to me again. You can play some of my content, but basically don't talk to me again. And I'm just like, didn't say a word right after that. Like I said, I wasn't the one showing shit of his on the lives. But whatever. But I'm not going to turn this into a spitting thing, not into that drama, but I clearly wanted to clear this part up. Absolutely. And so just life lessons, right? Life lessons. So, I want to pull up the article. If you just give me a second here. 1 second. Okay. So the Globe and Mail came out with an article this morning. Again, thank you to Lindsay for letting me know that this her article had come out. So it says, Nova Scotia RCMP major crimes head says he's confident the case of Jack and Lily Sullivan will be resolved. Hold on a second here. I'll make this bigger. Oh, no. What did I do with the article? Okay. So, police are making headway in the case of two missing Nova Scotia children, said RCMP Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon, acting officer in charge of major crime and behavioral science. The question of how two young children could just disappear has kept the RCMP head of major crime in Nova Scotia awake many nights since Jack and Lily Sullivan's disappearance or were reported missing from their home last May. But Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon, the acting officer in charge of the major crime and behavioral science, insists the police are still making progress with the case, and he's confident that in time it will be resolved. That is not a file that just sits at work and you pick it up in the morning, said Staff Sergeant. You've got two very vulnerable people who perhaps were in some difficult circumstances and they've gone missing. We need answers and who took and what took place. A team of major crime investigators are still following up on more than 1,000 tips they received and working through a list of 1,300 investigative tasks in a case that Staff Sergeant McCammon described as having the greatest volume of information in his 25-year career. Of course, if you guys remember, that's Belinda holding the picture of Jack and Lily. The disappearance of Jack and Lily, 6, from their home in a rural hamlet of Lansdowne, have reverberated across the country and abroad. A missing persons case that Staff Sergeant McCammon described as affecting so many because it's a very fundamental wrong. Absolutely. On May 2nd, the morning Jack and Lily were reported missing, their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, marked them absent from school for a second day in a row. Around 10 a.m., she called 911 to report that they had wandered off, while she and their stepfather, Daniel Martell, had been dozing in bed with their toddler. Staff Sergeant McCammon declined to speak about the investigative theories in an interview at Nova Scotia RCMP headquarters in Dartmouth this month, saying all avenues are still under consideration, and he has to consider the impact on long-term justice should criminal charges be laid. But he added, police are making headway. I believe we have made ground when it comes to where things are heading and what we're finding out, he said. Big impact on that statement there. I believe we have made ground when it comes to where things are heading and what we're finding out. We're collecting information from all areas. We're assessing that, and it's helping us form pictures of what may have taken place. We're going to continue to work down that road. Again, I think that there's these things that you're reading in here that, seem to have that meaning behind it, that lets you know that, look, we basically believe we know what's gone on here, but we're piecing it all together, probably gathering the evidence, etc., and has to consider the long-term justice should criminal charges be laid. The Globe previously reported on troubling issues inside Jack and Lily's home, including adamant drug use by their stepfather, multiple black eyes on the children, controlling behavior that affected their mother, and other pressures brought on by the parents' financial struggles. The Globe reporting also revealed that a provincial child protection social worker had visited the children's home to investigate a report of suspected abuse or neglect. Staff Sergeant McCammon said police interviewed the social worker involved with Jack and Lily and others with valuable information about the children's circumstances. We have looked at their movements in the days prior and the kinds of things that were going on in their lives. That is part of our investigative inquiry, he said. Both parents explained that the children's sudden disappearance the same way. The kids must have put on their boots, opened that sliding glass door, and left the fenced-in backyard. The 3 adults who did live on the property, including the children's step-grandmother, Janie Mackenzie, told police that they heard the children playing that morning. Told the police that they heard the children playing that morning before they disappeared. Crock of shit, Janie. In the days and weeks that followed, the Mounties oversaw one of the largest searches in the province's history. Dozens of search and rescue teams, police dogs, and helicopter drones scoured the thick wooded area around the trailer for more than 12,000 hours. They reviewed thousands of surveillance video, and human remains detection dogs poured over 40 kilometers of land. In late fall, the children's stepfather, Mr. Martell, said he doesn't believe the children wandered into the woods anymore because of the extensive search. He said he also no longer suspects that Miss Brooke Murray, who ended their relationship shortly after Jack and Lily disappeared, was involved in the abduction of her own children. Sorry, just need a drink. A theory that he suggested. Well, yes, he did. Both parents have repeatedly denied involvement in Jack and Lily's disappearance, and court documents show they both underwent polygraph tests, and they were found to be truthful on all 4 questions that were not publicly disclosed. No new searches for the children are planned, but Staff Sergeant McCammon said police are reviewing the search area to ensure that they haven't missed anything. If we identify areas that we feel would benefit to do more searching, we will, he said. Without answers, social media and online content creators have had more than filled the void, sometimes mashing facts with misinformation and speculation. While these online communities have helped keep the case in the public eye, Staff Sergeant McCammon said they can also hamper the investigation. It takes investigators time and resources to look into tips garnered from what in some cases has turned out to be just a comment made on social media, he said. Staff Sergeant McCammon said he understands that urgent need for answers, but what happened to Jack and Lily, but cautioned that the intensive major crime investigations take time to do things by the book, according to Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. We have to consider whether charges will be laid eventually. You listening, Daniel? Leah? We have to consider whether charges will be laid eventually. So we have to maintain the rule of law and follow the rules that are there. It does take time, and it's going to take some more time, he said. We won't stop until we have answers as to what happened to Jack and Lily. Oh, and then that was the decibel over there. Okay. All right. So thank you guys again. So you guys, I'm just going to look for a sec at what you guys are saying. There's a few takeaways from that. Absolutely. This article. And I still strongly believe that, of course, it's my own personal thoughts, is that the parents to me and the way this case has gone have shown to be deceptive, have shown to be manipulative, have shown to be untruthful in a lot of ways. And Jack and Lily's disappearance lies on Malaya and Daniel. They were the 2, regardless, in charge of Jack and Lily, and it's under their disappearance, not Cody Sullivan's, not anybody else, but Daniel and Malaya. And those are the people that were responsible. And when, bullshit walks, and bullshit talks. And that's all I've seen from Daniel. In regard to this whole case, from his inconsistencies to his out and out lies, to his out and out BS, to the adding of information, to Janie's BS as well. And like I said, Janie, you can take that shovel, reiki, bakey, whatever you want to freaking call it, for that pool. You can shove that shovel up your ass for all I care. You said that the children disappeared before Ron's phone call, then you changed your story and said that they disappeared after and stuff like that. The inconsistencies of the whole timeline reek of shit. And so does this case. And it's at the expense of 2 beautiful children named Jack and Lily Sullivan. who deserve the truth. Now, at the end of the day, I'm realistic, and I realize that it will take the RCMP and the information and the evidence or whatever they have to come up to give us answers for Jack and Lily. That we can talk about it, we can bring awareness to the case, we can speculate on it and stuff like that. But to me, just for the fact of following true crime and true crime cases, whenever you see mistruths and weirdness and all that strangeness going on, that's because usually it's going to deal with family involvement or people that are close to the family that have those answers. And so that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the answers from RCMP for Jack and Lily, because Jack and Lily deserve so much more than those two pieces of shit that were taking care of them as they're all sleeping and letting kids take care of themselves and go in and out. Oh my, there's bears around and stuff like that. But hey, let's leave a door unlocked and, all this stuff. Anyways, bottom line is that's how I see it. So when I read this article myself, it just reminds me that the RCMP to me have the answers, but they just need to have the answers to back that up. Happy New Year to everybody as well. Happy New Year's Eve, you guys. I won't be doing any other live tonight. I don't believe so on there. So, and so that's just my feelings. My feelings are not going to change, about that. Oh, I am so sorry. I did not see these. Cheryl sent a super sticker of $9.99. Thank you, Cheryl. I'm so sorry. That was recently. Okay, I don't feel horribly then, because I thought maybe that could have been sitting there for an hour. And then Bear at Opera One. I hope I'm saying that right. $20 super sticker. Aw, thank you guys so much. Sorry, I just happened to look down and see that. So thank you so much, you guys. You guys don't think I don't miss you. I want to say that. I know I've been barely doing any lives. I have 3 paintings that I need to do for people at work. My niece was here during Christmas time. I had to work the 12 to 8 shifts 2 weeks prior to my Christmas holidays and stuff like that. And bottom line is that I was just exhausted. That's why I didn't finish the video. I was so exhausted that every time I went to even try to do it, I just couldn't. It's like when you're a zombie and it just takes an effort just to lift a hand. That's how I felt. And I've just been taking time to myself and just doing things that I want to do, but never forgetting that Charmaine's channel's there, Daphne's channel there, Shenanigans, Nova, Justin from Clutch Them Pearls and stuff like that, are all there. But I appreciate the people that was like, that of course, miss seeing the live on It's a Crime and Shame here. So thank you, Sharon, mods, everybody, rolling in late. Happy New Year. So just to go back to ask you guys, I guess gotta find what I did. So sorry again that Haley was having a little bit of technical difficulties as she was talking at points, but I mean, you guys could hear the clips properly. And again, let's see here. Well, I like this. We have to consider whether charges will be laid eventually. But yet there's no criminal activity. But we have to consider whether there'll be charges laid eventually. So we have to maintain the rule of law. Yes, I like that. I like this even more. We won't stop until we have answers as to what happened to Lily and Jack. And RCMP are confident that they will have answers to this case for Jack and Lily. Let's see here. Where was that little part? Here's that's Rob McCammon. And this part here, which I've talked about many times, we have to look at their movements in the days prior and the kind of things that were going on in their lives. That is part of our investigative inquiry. And I think that has a lot to do with what happened on that Thursday night into Friday, is what was it that was going on in that home, in the lives of Jack and Lily and Malaya and Daniel, of what was actually going on there. Janie, she couldn't hear shit, right? She wouldn't know nothing because she doesn't pay attention to anything. So what would she know, right? She would never have watched Daniel put a blanket into a garbage bag at all because, Janie just minds her own ass business while she's there. Bullshit. Dinosaur.
Thank you. H and Y Sunny, thank you for all your work on this case.
Appreciate that, Dinosaur. That's cool. Like that play on words. Thank you so much. Thanks, Nova. Yeah, Nova and I think Shenanigans, I believe, are doing lives, and I think that Melissa might be doing a live as well. My babies, I didn't know that about DT. Well, you know what? He said he's all about being truthful, so that was the truth of it. Sucks, but it's what it is. Thanks, Shenanigans. Thank you, OG.
Thank you, OG.
Thanks, OG. Appreciate that, you guys. Let's see here. Yes, ma'am. So yeah, I saw you put that on the board the other day, and I figured I'd say it on the live about the ornament video. Daniel, why did you move part of the ledge on the stairs? Was someone's blood there? I don't know. I don't know about that. Like, to me, the dogs would have caught on to that if there was, and stuff like that. I need a late slip. Hi, Sue. Happy New Year. Well, you know what? I just want to say this. I really love this article that Lindsay, the Globe and Mail, put out today. I think it gave us, this hope again that, if you kind of read between the lines, it's, basically saying things to you about that they have this picture, of information about what happened, and I truly do believe that. And I've said this for quite a long time, and a lot of others have too, is that, but you still need the evidence chain to back up any sort of charges to go beyond that. I mean, we don't know still what truly happened with Jack and Lily. All of us can surmise what we feel like happened. I personally feel that it's those 3 people on the property, if not more, that know exactly what happened to Jack and Lily. If it turns out to be something way off, something different, I'll be a monkey's uncle, I swear. But I don't think that most of us are this far off. When we see deception and it's in front of our faces, to me, it's very clear. I know that they found that poor girl. What was her first name? The girl that they just found yesterday that a lot of people were covering. Camilo. What was that? What was her name? But anyways, I remember I just kind of watched a little bit of News Nation on that. And my first thought when I was watching that little piece of clip, because I hadn't paid attention to this story coming out, besides I saw News Nation and I hit, whatever. And then they showed like this video clip of her walking down the street. My instant gut thing, I didn't think abduction at all. What I thought actually is that she was getting, not that she was taking her own life, but that she was like planning this, like her phone was left at home, wasn't even charged, that it was almost like a plan of some sort. Come to find out, they ended up finding her body, and believe it was like a gun was missing or whatever from a family member, and she ended up, I guess, taking her own life. So obviously she had a lot of mental health struggles going on with her. So that's just really sucks, right? December, what was it? December 24th. And, this female, this poor little girl, is teenager, young woman, whatever you want to call her, I guess, that she felt the need to take her own life. And I'm not going to lie too. Absolutely. The times have changed since I was growing up. Social media can be very hurtful and impactful. It's a different level than we've had to deal with when I was a kid. There was no computers and all that stuff. We didn't have to worry about all the bullies online or the different drama shit that goes online, and, the internet has been a wonderful thing to have, but yet by the same token, a really bad thing to have. Camilla, thank you. I don't know why it eluded me. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So prayers to her and her family, and anyone else that's going through this. Okay, so I'm not going to be on too much longer here. I again really appreciate the fact of Haley sitting up on this live. I remember just before the live, she was like, no, thank you for having me. And I'm like, no, thank you, for actually doing this, because I wasn't even being planned on doing a live. And then this whole voice clip thing came up. And then when she said you should do a live, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do a live on it, because obviously, if it's going to make its way out there anyway, might as well, get ahead of it. And then when she said she was going to join, Happy New Year's to you as well. Thank you, Tomlu. But yeah, so when she said she was going to join, I was like, oh, wait, what? Oh, perfect. On there, because there's nothing better than when things come from the horse's mouth themselves. And, but we'll see what happens, but I'm pretty much one of those people that talks about things, and then I drop it because, like I said, DT has to live with himself for, him putting out 3 times. But this being like the straw in the camel's back, even though I was already there, type of thing. I was just like, damn. So I totally misjudged him, thinking that he was like my truest, most confidential friend at the time, because we've been friends for a couple of years. But he can reap what he sows, and he can put out what he wants. I've already gone through all of it. Like I said, if I put it out there, and I'll admit to it, right? I mean, if I put something out there, it's usually because it's with the intent of doing it. It was never anything to try to hurt Haley by sharing those clips. It was about having some awareness of the case and giving him a little insight into Malaya's demeanor and a few of those things. Not to come to find out that he would be sharing them around, and then people message me, and then it's just like, no, whatever, live and learn. Happy New Year, Alexa. Been a long time for Alexa. That's hasn't been on the channel in a long time. Alexa, she was a criminal profiler. What is it? Can't even think of the word anymore. Anyways, a criminal profiler, graphologist. That's the word I was looking for. Body language expert. And so she used to come on here all the time, especially to do with the Delphi case and stuff like that. So it's been a minute. But Happy New Year, Alexa. Love you. Alexa gifted 5 memberships. Oh, let's see. Lindsay Shannon got one. Donosaur got one. Yes, ma'am got one. Ruby for Justice got one. And I desert you guys for dessert. And Lacey Frankie got the last one. Thank you so much for doing that, paying it forward and stuff like that. Appreciate that, Alexa. So you guys, if you got one and you're in here, thank Alexa. Anyways, again, I'm just going to be on here for a couple more minutes. I have, oops. Yeah, Alexa, I'd love to have you up here, but I know, like, life, right? Sometimes it takes us down different roads and paths for a while and stuff like that. But Alexa knows how much I love her and admire her as a great, trustworthy friend. Happy New Year to everybody. Hi, Scotia Leo. Thank you guys. Alexa, thank you so much for the membership. Happy New Year. Yeah. DT seems to be the type of person who wants to be right no matter what costs our lives. I for one, tried to watch him his show and never could be. He's too full of himself. You know what? It's almost done. So Autumn, I'm gonna agree with you there. To me, DT's ego got ahead of himself. It's why I don't know why he ever played the first clip of Haley. He said he knew that it wasn't his to play, but yet he played it. And then he made the comment about he had to show his viewers. Oh, shit. What's that? But anyways, he made the comment about like he had to prove that he wasn't lying about what, like at what point. That never made sense, why you would have to play a private clip that nobody knew about to prove that you weren't lying, and then make a comment, well, I got clips too. And I was like, wait, what? And that's when he played that, like a piece of it, and I was like, what? And then what he did with Brad Wong, and then, like I said, the things that he said recently at the end of that live with Dr. Vanna and Daphne. I mean, I'll just say this. He should probably let his guests talk, first of all, on his lives, instead of cutting them off. But yeah, it was about ego. And right. And so I just was very disappointed. And then when I come to learn that he now shared the rest, these other private clips, because they were all part of it from August 30th. Then obviously, like, who's the one that's doing things for clicks and views? Who's the one that's doing it for ego's sake, right? Didn't like Brad Wong, but he felt he needed to share a message of mine and stuff. But I'm not going to get into that. DT can do his own shit. Don't care about the dude anymore whatsoever. He'll do his lives. People will go watch his lives for whatever reason. But, this was important that me and Haley did this live because it was going to get out there. So, hey, if it's going to get out there, Haley might as well be present and, talk about the few things that she had said. That actually, no, there was a ton more that me and Haley have talked about. Thank fuck. There was only 6 or 7 clips, and that was just to give insight, to be honest with you. But I don't know what he was expecting to achieve by breaking that trust again. So he can, whatever, do as he wants, reap what he sows and shit like that. I just don't have any use for the man anymore. He showed me 3 times that he's not trustworthy. Shame on me. Sunny, I've missed you so much. The Bolin family. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Oh my goodness, good to see you. Let's see. Hi, hello, Becca. Did DT ever? Well, see, I don't know where the truth lies with DT. Like, I literally have a message of him saying that he worked in law enforcement. Like, I have that screenshot from him, but honestly, I don't know where the truth lies, to be honest with him, with you anymore, with him, you know, because if this is how he can betray a friend, well, I just took him for his word. So is it true? Was he? I don't honestly know. And to be honest, I don't care anymore. There's no value there. The friendship is over, and it's as simple as that, you know. So when he said, like, his last message, when I messaged him back, he's like, "I'm not even listening to your voice clip," you know. But basically, it was basically I told him, like, "Well, have a good one, you know. Do this to me 3 times now." And he's like, "I'm not even going to listen to your voice message. Don't message me again." No problem, dude. No problem. I stopped trusting you the last time when you did that shit with Brad. So, but whatever, you know, we'll see we'll see if he wants to, you know, try to place, you know, sling the mud. But he's the one that put these clips out. He's the one that broke the trust again, you know. Alexa, Happy New Year. Heart, heart, heart. Happy New Year to you all. Okay. Yeah, you know, again, you guys do you, right? Like I said, for the people that want to watch DT and stuff like that, or this channel or not this channel or whatever, you know, I just, again, if somebody's going to put out clips, you know, and the author of those clips is somebody I talked to. So me and Haley, I had explained this to her the first time when DT played a portion of a clip that he wasn't ever supposed to play. But I'm just, you know, just to me, it's kind of like, what are you going to come at me with, DT? You know, if you decide that you want to sling mud and stuff like that, you've already slung mud at me how many times? 4, as a matter of fact, you know. So who's the one that's betraying the trust? So what does that show you as a person about the stuff that you will do? You know, creating accounts to pretend like you're somebody else, like you've told your followers and stuff like that, to sit there and show stuff that was private, all because of the ego getting in the way, you know. And it just, I guess it was about ego. I'm here for Jack and Lily, so he can sling whatever money can come my way. I don't care, right? You know. Yeah, I'm just really disappointed in the person that came out of this, but obviously it showed me. So where did you see he was fired as a cop? I never said I ever saw he was fired as a cop. As far as what DT told me was that he was a police officer about 15 or 20 years ago. That he was a regular police officer. He wasn't an investigator or a detective or anything like that, and that he had took some courses. And I believe he said something like it wasn't his calling. And anyways, and that he had gotten out of it. And that he was in it for about 5 years, I believe is what he said. So whatever his truth is there, I don't really know, and I don't really care anymore at all. What I know is that he's not trustworthy at all. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I haven't, you know, put my hand in the cookie jar and shit like that, but I'll definitely own up to it. But between me and DT, there is never a time that I showed anything that was a private conversation between us, at ever. You know, so just to be hit at it 3 times and then get insulted by his comments on his last live with Dr. Vona and Daphne, you know, and stuff like that. It's like, shame on him, you know, and shame on him for not letting them talk very much, and him talking way too much and wouldn't let his guests talk, to be honest. What is that? He wears sunglasses all the time. It's just weird. Someone said he had an eye issue. I don't know. I honestly, most of the stuff that was sometimes when we talked was in the back room and stuff like that. But I think it's brave for Haley to stand up and speak out for her niece and nephew. Absolutely. I want to be very, very clear on this. Thank you, Scotia Leo. I am proud that you put Jack and Lily first. They need your voice. Thank you for being there for them. And I just want to reiterate that as well. Since Haley and I have talked, again, there's been confusion within the family about, what happened to Jack and Lily. Why is Malaya acting strangely? People didn't know what was going on at all. But kind of like what Haley had said, ever since I've been talking to her, she's always made it about Jack and Lily. Jack and Lily, Jack and Lily. And all I could take away from this a lot was, why is it that the own mother isn't doing this? Why is it that someone like the stepsister, Haley, is sitting there, talked on a couple different things or with the articles and stuff like that? Why is Cheryl, speaking out in a sense in certain ways? And where's Malaya? Right? Because everyone knew that basically in order to talk to Malaya, you had to go through Cheryl, like from the beginning in a sense. Right? And then Malaya ended up talking to me during that whole, I don't know, fundraiser or whatever the heck it was and stuff like that. But where's Malaya? Where's the mother? I'm not making excuses for this type of behavior from a mother. The mother. So if there's one thing that is very true, is that with Haley, it's always been about Jack and Lily, right? The conversations that we've had are all geared just to either questioning, wondering things ourselves, if there was some insight that possibly could give you some insight about Malaya and Daniel somewhat and stuff like that. But like Haley said, she's had very little communication with Malaya the last couple years. Daniel pretty much, fucking made Malaya get rid of, I hate to say that, but because obviously you have your own choices. But I get it. I get it when you're in a relationship like as toxic as that one, that you basically push people away. And then next thing you know, you're just left with the person that's tried to control everything and stuff like that. But she allowed it by the same token, Turkey. Sorry, let's see. Yeah, that was it. I don't trust. Yeah. Like I said, if he wants to come back trying to sling mud and stuff like that, I don't know that would be too wise, to be honest with you, because he's the one that put the shit out. He's the one that broke the trust again, and it's not like I'm going to sit there and get into a slinging match with DT. He showed his true colors to me. We just called out on the shit that he put out that was private. And it just shows you, who truly he is as someone that obviously you can't trust. And the character that he's trying to build himself up to be is not true then, because this is the third time, besides bashing me on the last live, this is the third time that he threw me underneath the bus and then apologized for especially for the Brad thing, saying he felt bad, but he, just can't stand the idiot and whatever and stuff like that. But that's no excuse. That's no excuse to have done that. And then to find out about these clips. So I'm just so grateful that Haley was like, yeah, you know what? I said them. Let's talk about it. Let's get them out there, right? Get ahead of the stupid games of people. And that's probably one of the biggest jokes to me, is that this is supposed to be about Jack and Lily. Jack and Lily. And all these little corners and all this different shit and all this drama, and stuff like that is going on. They're little, it's supposed to be about finding answers for Jack and Lily, and yet all these egos and struggles and stuff's going on. I don't care about that shit. I don't care if a Brad Turner. I don't care if Angelina or whatever her name is. I don't even know who she is really. Just someone that is a best friend, you know. But DT made it very clear that he talked to two of Malaya's best friends. And to me, that would be Cheryl and Angelina. Because he's, like I said, saying shit. So, hey, if they want to have a bond with him and he shares the information out and breaks trust and, you know, but isn't it about Jack and Lily? Instead of all these people getting so pissed off about, oh, this information's, you know, out there and this and that and stuff like that, you know, like meaning I just don't understand all the drama to the side. And then most of it's just to do about egos, and it's not about Jack and Lily. Right? So for me, I don't give two flying fox, you know, about people that want to put pictures up of me and make me look like I got Down syndrome or that my freaking face and whatever. It's a filter, you fuck faces. It's a filter. Okay? Told you. I have a light filter. Duh. Right? But hey, if you want to sit there and try to sit there and poke a bear, you're barking up the wrong tree. You're just barking up the wrong tree to try to pull me into your drama. I just care about answers for Jack and Lily. That's it. That's it. And I know that there's these great content creators out there, right? Like, I know that Daphne, that Charmaine, Nova, Shanann, Justin, I know that those people have their truest intents to actually find answers because they truly care about Jack and Lily. It's not about revenue and all that stuff. It's truly like, first, people can make revenue. We're allowed to. Okay, we are allowed to. But at the end of the day, it becomes who's sincere with their intentions about just finding answers for Jack and Lily, right? And who sits in these Facebook groups because they got no fucking lives and sit there and just keep spreading a bunch of bullshit around. You know, get the fuck a life. That's why I stay away from those Facebook groups. They're freaking nasty, bunch of nasty bitches in them. And that's why I just don't care about them. There's some good people in them. Don't get me wrong. I just don't care to freaking pay attention to the shit. But to sit there and keep watching these people try to stir shit amongst other people all the time, you know, again, why don't you make it about Jack and Lily instead of acting like you do, like you got some sort of secret, what is it? Like secret sauce going on that, oh, you got this pertinent information and that. How about we just all work together and find out what happened to Jack and Lily? You know, stop blaming like the Cody Sullivans of the world who weren't even there and stuff like that. I've been screaming to the media nonstop if I wanted my children found. Wow. How can I not disagree? Janice, if you knew you were innocent, you wouldn't care. And 100% pleading, absolutely. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and keep justifying my own thoughts about this. People that have nothing to do with it have nothing to hide. It's that simple. Watch any of the cases out there. When you got nothing to hide, you're truthful. I watch these cases a dime a dozen every single day. I watch at least 5 or 6 of those half-hour episodes of when they're brought into an interrogation or some wife's life is taken or the mother's taken her child's life. And they're all the same. They're all the same. They try to be deceptive. Right? This case is no different. Deception, lies, inconsistencies, BS. Mother that can't sit there and come to the surface for her kids. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and justify Malaya's actions. I think Malaya's actions suck, as a mother. I mean, I truly wonder what all role happened here with Malaya and Daniel and all this shit. But I don't make excuses for bullshit that's in front of my eyes and clear as day. Doesn't matter. Whatever the answer is, these two are full of shit, in my personal opinion. I mean, even Durwood, right? Even Durwood, he's been saying how Brad Wong is right and Janie and Daniel are liars. You know, I still think he thinks that he knows everything or best and whatever, but you know, why would that be? Because Durwood knows that Janie said about hushing the kids, and Belinda knows damn well that Janie said that to her. Right? So it's just, again, you know, Daniel's full of lies. That's clear as day. But Janie is too. She's full of shit herself. And it's just like I said. So, hey, maybe Durwood finally, you know, went in there with open eyes and then kind of became a little bit deluded with Daniel and Janie's bullshit. And now seeing the truth that they're just a bunch of liars. You know, why are they lying? Why are you lying about 2 children? Why? Because you got something to hide. That's exactly why. Why did Janie say that the children disappeared before Ron's phone call, then after? You know? Why all the inconsistencies about who woke up to say who went missing and all that stuff? Why is Daniel implied Malaya had everything to do with the children's disappearance and then said 100% that he didn't? You know? Like I said, the proof is in the screenshots from Daniel Martell, you know? Yeah, I don't give a shit about Facebook groups, Lori, at all, to be honest. No, they're bad. Like, there's good people in some of them, don't get me wrong. I just got no time of day because those are the most toxic people out there. Out of anyone, to me, okay, is the Facebook groups. You know, Mick fucking nasty. It's because it's like people talking out of their ass, making up shit all day long, you know, putting out shit. I mean, I know it happens in content creating, but Facebook to me is the root of any evil. But don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid enough not to believe that there's not good people out there. But get yourself in a Jack and Lily group and Mick nasty, forget it. You know, I mean, Janie and Janie especially taught herself that the hard way. Go into one of those open Facebook groups and you get pounced on, and then they sit there and no, that's just what you call like made me laugh so hard. Oh yeah. One sec, Cheryl. Absolutely.
If you know something, say something.
Absolutely. I'll come back to that, but absolutely. Thanks for the reminder. Right? The way that DT has gone after Brad, right? And tried to discredit both Brad and Justin by literally sitting there making up shit and then using a news article title to prove his point. Like, what the fuck, dude? Seriously? But anyways, but absolutely, to literally discredit and say that they were liars, basically. No, at no point, right? And that's just it. You know, like, he can have his fan base that want to believe that crap, and then the people that are smart enough to know what was in the documents, what was said, right? Again, it's taking the information and going, well, there's 2 people that are talking about a vehicle. Correct. The police don't have anything on video, on camera. Why? Because there's no camera footage within that certain area for sure. There's very little camera footage. There's a bunch of camera footage, Melissa Scott's way and whatever, you know, a couple other ways and stuff like that. Did it make it not true? Did it make them liars? Right. So DT's hate for Brad, that's why he ended up showing that message where I said something about he's not the brightest bulb. And even then he took that out of context and he's like, well, at least Sonny thinks of him in the same way. No, when I made that comment, because I make that comment a lot, like you're not the brightest bulb in the tree or whatever. Da, 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 da. When I specifically made that particular comment, that was because there was something, Brad said something, and then he said there was something different that was said, right? And so then that's when I kind of made that comment. And it was in reference to that. But then DT made it look like, well, at least Sonny thinks that he's a dumb, basically ass too type of thing and whatever. And no, that's not what I even said at all. It was in reference to when something was said and then it was something else was said a different way. And you're like, oh, okay. Because honestly, at this case, it gets frustrating because every time you think you got something said, then all of a sudden something else is said, with regards to this case. And you thought you had this information, and it just kind of gets old, always having like different versions to a story type of thing, and it happened. And there's another one I was going to mention, but I just won't touch it. Nothing to do with Brad though. But anyways, bottom line is that realistically, what happened to Jack and Lily? Realistically, two people are hearing a vehicle at night. One hears from a certain time, the other says between 12 to 5. Is it realistic to believe that two children are missing, that nowhere can they be found on God's green earth, and that two people are just going to make up about hearing a vehicle just for the sake of, you know what, let's just go, let's just pick on Daniel tonight? No, it's not realistic to think that two people would come forward. I can understand if somebody say he had a gripe, but see, Daniel tried throwing Brad Wong underneath the bus and saying that he was like the first suspect. That Brad was. Well, Daniel, what world do you live in? You like you said on your interview, you know that you guys are the first suspects instantly. The stepfather and the mother on the property are the first suspect. But he tried throwing Brad underneath the bus time and time again, right? As they maneuver their bullshit, him and Janie. I mean, how many times did they insinuate about Brad being the person that broke into her trailer, or that he's revving his truck really loud during the search and wouldn't let the police search his property, or he wouldn't give a statement. Yeah, he didn't give a statement, but he talked to them still, right? Potato on that one. But anyways, so all you're ever trying to do, because is bring awareness to Jack and Lily and want answers. And the second thing you're trying to do is understand the truth, right? And it's hard when there's just so many different stories that when it came to the whole timeline, then it was like, I got to wash this all away, because nothing that Daniel is saying or what Malaya said or Janie said is consistent. So that means it must be bullshit. And it's just covering up for an alibi to try to get their shit together. But they're so fucking dumb as two freaking tits on a bull that they couldn't even collide their stories properly. And that's probably why Janie changed her story about the children disappearing before, or them hearing them before to after the phone call with Ron and stuff like that. Oh, that didn't quite align with your story, did it, Daniel and Malaya? Anyway, thanks, Cheryl. Heard that go off. If you know something, say something. The simplest answer is usually the right one. That's the reality. That is the reality. And I think that reality is going to hold true in Jack and Lily's case. And then it's just a matter of a waiting game of when will those answers come for Jack and Lily. Here, let's put them back up on here, because these two children just went again without a Christmas. It's going to turn into 2026 tomorrow. Well, tonight after 12. And guess what? No answers for Jack and Lily. And yet all these people want to argue, or create a bunch of bullshit and stuff like that, or message me and be like, "Sorry, did you send clips to DT?" Yeah, I did. And he broke that trust from something that was months ago just because of his own bullshit, whatever. You know? I mean, at the end of the day, again, glad you heard it. But that was from months ago. There's been many other conversations since then. Because nobody really just knows the true answer. The RCMP, I'm sure, have the biggest inkling of an answer, even if it is close to ours. Yeah, deletes everybody. The minute somebody says something wrong, you're gone. You're out of there. Tony, I've always been upfront on what I've said about Cody. Yeah, I don't, I'm not sure what all you said on that, Lori, to be honest with you. All I know is my personal thoughts about Cody or this. Okay? Obviously, we know he's not the most upstanding. Belinda has already said that about her own son. You know, or not helping search and stuff like that. I've left Cody out of the equation because at the end of the day, that's like a side thing that had no bearing on the case with Cody. So we can all have our feelings about how we feel about that. We know Belinda's, you know, fighting for answers for Jack and Lily and stuff like that. And whatever Cody does, he's a grown-ass adult. And he can either, you know, make those choices, which he has. But it's Daniel and Malaya that the children disappeared underneath. So Cody becomes irrelevant to me. So to even bother to bring him up to me is like, why? For me personally, right? Because it's not to me about Jack and Lily, right? He has to deal with whatever his thoughts or whatever he's doing for Jack and Lily. But Daniel and Malaya are the two that need to, answer for Jack and Lily because they were living there. So I'm not going to purposely hurt Belinda. She already knows who her son is, you know, and stuff like that. But I'm not going to bring him up because he has no bearing to me on the case. It's Daniel and Malaya, where Jack and Lily went missing. I looked on Facebook yesterday for this time. They were all doing calling down Belinda and Cody. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Okay. It's not shocking. You know, I do feel bad for certain family members that take the wrath of this. Belinda's taken a lot of wrath in her quest for Jack and Lily. And obviously Cody has as well. You know, but I think the person that's kind of gotten off a little bit easy has been Malaya, to be honest with you. Daniel's taken a lot of slack, you know. Haley's taken some slack and, you know, for sure. I mean, come on. Daniel's always trying to freaking throw Haley underneath the bus every time he gets. And again, was Haley ever polygraphed? No. Does Haley need to be polygraphed? No, because they know Daniel's full of shit. Right? They know Daniel's full of shit. We all know Daniel planted that freaking ass blanket, or at least most of us, you know. And again, just waiting for the truth to come out for Jack and Lily. Yeah, well, I mean, he can suck up Daniel's ass and Janie's ass all he wants to. Don't care. To be honest, I've heard enough out of those people. But, you know a lot of you guys. Oh, wait, there's Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda. Love you, Rhonda. There will be sunny a bit. Yeah. I really feel like this year will bring answers for Jack and Lily. I'm hoping within the next, 3 to 6 month mark. I know things take time. I know that, again, you have to have whatever, but, you know, the answers need to come for Jack and Lily. So, like I said, people can try to tear me down, you know, try to diss me, talk about me, all they want. Don't give a fuck. Don't give two flying fucks at all. What I care about is that answers come for the victims of these cases. I'm too strong, like I said, of a person to even care about that bullshit. You know, there's nothing to talk about, I guess. You know, like I haven't been really doing lives, but hey, some people keep trying to throw me in there somehow. I just laugh at it, to be honest with you. But I think today was a good day to do a live, with Haley. So that was really sweet again of her to do the live this morning. If I was with Cody, I checked with her again before I said anything. I was just like, are you sure? She's like, yep, let's do it. People who want to call Belinda down, absolutely. Belinda has given so much of her time and energy. And I don't care what people want to say about this. Belinda has spent, since a couple weeks into it or a few weeks into it, fighting for justice for Jack and Lily, like meaning on lives and stuff like that. She has been relentless. Same with Chelsea, relentless. And I feel so horrible for the bullshit that she's had to go through this whole entire case, and for any family member as well. But when you put yourself out there, right, then the attacks, people have no problem behind a computer just attacking and saying what they want, and people want to try to take away from Belinda, but you know what? It hurts, I'm sure, but Belinda's a very strong person. She has her wonderful daughter, Chelsea. And again, when you know who you are as a person and what you stand for and what you do, those people can't really tear you down, because it just really shows a sign of who those people are. And I know that, and you guys know that. So this case is not about Jack and Lily. It's about the adults who didn't give two shits about the kids, more about adding drama and inciting trouble onto the public. Again, however each of us wants to see it. It is about Jack and Lily. It is about two shit-ass parents that put this all on course for this case. Drama goes with every single darn case, especially with a high-profile case. It's the same. It doesn't matter if it's Sebastian's case. Doesn't matter what case it is. This is the type of shit that happens. It's normal, unfortunately, but it is normal. That this is on par with how cases go, drama, all the different things, and it's not going to change. It's going to remain the same, but I'm just, like I said, for me, I don't care. The Brad fuckers of the world can sit there and say whatever, use false accounts. That's the joke of it. That's the complete joke of it. Hey, Brad Turner, why don't you fucking get your pussy ass out of your asshole there, and why don't you actually freaking use your real account name instead of all these fucking fake profiles? Go ahead. Try to make this case about, say, me or somebody else instead of about Jack and Lily. That's the kicker. All these people with their freaking fake profile accounts. They can suck it. So glad to hear directly from Haley. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I'm probably way back behind. Well, not too bad. The real beast. I didn't say she didn't have an opportunity to leave. I'm saying people placing blame on Belinda. You misread. Belinda, keep shining the light. 210, American justice. If that's the case, the adults' family members was not there that morning and are going to be biased. We don't know the truth nor what we've been told on there. Well, I think that the truth is right there, the writing on the wall, but it's a matter of, end of the day, we don't know. But I think most of us have our strong speculations for sure. Again, nothing to hide. You don't need to lie. That's the bottom line of it. It's like I said, me and my niece got into an argument when she was here a little bit about conspiracy theories. Even my husband was off, actually not on my side. In fact, my husband told me to go to bed. He said, "You're tired, go to bed." Okay, correct. I was tired. But I was getting kind of pissy because conspiracy theories, obviously it's good to have difference of opinions, right? On this fucking planet though, right? Not freaking out of the world shit. And so I tried to explain to her who, and people think that they're know-it-alls themselves and stuff like that. But I was like, but I spend time in true crime. Like, this is what I do all the time. So when someone sits there and tries to tell me that conspiracy theories are what solve most of these cases, I'm like, what the fuck planet are you from to actually say that? So let me ask you guys. So she said that conspiracy theories are what solve most of the cases. So one, if you agree, and two, if you don't agree. I'll see what you guys think about this. And give me 1 second. I'm just curious. So again, one, if you think conspiracy theories solve cases, or solve most of the cases, or two, if you don't. Okay. So, like I said, was what the fuck planet are you coming from to say that? Because I don't know if maybe the definition of conspiracy theory for her, or my husband for that matter. But obviously, there's having information. And almost every case that's solved is going to go down Occam's razor, the most straightest path to the truth. We see this time and time again in cases that the husband kills the wife, the child, whatever. They lie about it. They try to get away with it. But the truth is that it was literally them. And the answers come out. It's not because the kid flew off on a freaking genie map somewhere, and went to point Z to point B and G and H and Z. And then that's how the case was solved. It stays within the same line of, a murder happens. They seal it off. They start investigating all the people in the house, all the people closest to them, and it kind of spreads out to that, this person knew, right? That's normal. Those are normal cases. Conspiracy theorists are ones that, and not to say that they don't happen, but the cases almost always will be Occam's razor. They're not going to be some far-fetched thing that the children were taken from the property. They were hidden by their mother on a reserve somewhere for the protection of the kids and blah, 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 blah. I mean, that stuff can happen typically, but usually those cases, again, are very transparent and normal that a father steals his children, either takes their lives because he doesn't want the wife to have the children and he's pissed off, or they take off and go into hiding, try to somewhere. Again, that's normal in a sense of a case. It's not that, during a 20-minute time window that suddenly this magical vehicle appears that happens to take the children somewhere. And Malaya did this and they ended off on a farm or on a boat to fucking China or the USA and blah, 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 blah. That's just not reality. And that's not realistic. So for me, the line is always realistic. What are we seeing? Well, we're seeing a stepfather that started off acting like that he was, that Malaya had taken off. She gave this weird ass interview and then she goes, and I call into hiding. And then Daniel is, the freaking hero, but you don't realize it till a little bit into it. And you're like, wait, hold on a second. Like, why is the stepfather seeming to care more than the actual mother about finding the kids. He's making odd statements about that he'll search for them for a lifetime if he needs to, as if he already knows, making weird statements that they're not in the woods. And then the inconsistencies with his storyline start reeling out. Meanwhile, you have Mother, who's still not speaking and not saying anything. Her and Belinda have shared a few, texts and stuff together like that. But the mother is not screaming for her children. She's not begging and pleading for people to help search. In fact, she insults us by telling us in that letter to be voices for Jack and Lily while she's hidden, not saying anything. And she's using like Cheryl and others and Angelina or whatever to speak on her behalf in a sense. And it's like, no. That's not normal. That's not what people of missing children would do. And then Daniel is just consistently, honestly, the manure that he kept stacking on top of his stories and the adding and inserting into the case as it went along. But just the inconsistencies of when Malaya was on the phone calling 911, Janie's, their timeline blew apart. The 8 o'clock to 8:30, 8:28, a phone call goes out to the mother, who woke up who, and then Daniel is sitting there like chilling and relaxing on the DT show, as if Jack and Lily aren't even missing, and it's like he's just like, Daniel, I'm just here to tell the truth. That, oh wait, there's a lock on the door now. We hear about, and there's 2 car keys, and he tries to blame Haley that those were her keys in the bathroom, and it was just ridiculous. And I mean, it's almost like someone handing you over gravy, and you might as well just sit there with your arms crossed and be like, there's a point there. I guess the truth will come out, and here's my arms, handcuff me. But it's almost like someone just oozing diarrhea that literally is just telling on themselves, because their ego and their arrogance and narcissistic personality just can't stop himself. And the more shit that he added to the story, the more you could just see clearly what he was doing. And the more Malaya's not saying anything, like, what's up with you two? Are you guys talking to each other? You guys playing this fucking wicked game of not telling each other and shit like that? But what you're watching is not remotely close to normal, because people with actual brain cells know that, right, guys? That what you're seeing and witnessing is not normal. Whenever people are bullshitting or deceiving or manipulative or lying, and they're not sitting there begging for the kids' returns, and they're not saying, for the people that have those children, please bring them home to me. They don't even mention Jack and Lily's name, in Malaya's interview. All they're doing is trying to set for this information that the kids talk a lot, that they were probably abducted, and all this BS, and then Daniel comes out with his little haikus of, you're just muddying the waters. And when you muddy the waters, you got to look at the stream, because the stream runneth down to the pond. That's, another pond of water. And, and that's where you're going to find the answers, is somewhere amongst that on the hill, as I'm searching through the culverts and the roads and all this shit, and the rainbows and skittles are all going everywhere. And that's the truth, Daniel and Malaya are pretty much claiming. Well, not so much Malaya, but she's too busy freaking hiding her ass, not doing anything. So this is not normal. It's just not normal. Thank you, Sue. So, again, I spend all my days watching almost true crime, like of some sort, but these interrogations all the time. And it's just clear as mud. Clear as mud, Daniel. Let's just muddy the waters. Just clear as mud that when 2 people are doing these really strange actions, and it's because they exactly have knowledge, in my personal opinion, of what happened to Jack and Lily. Right, Janie? Right, Janie? that pool up, Janie? I mean, the kids are coming back still, aren't they, Janie? Might as well get that pool ready for them, you know? But it's when you look at the whole thing, you know? And shit like that. And, you know, and DT can say whatever he freaking wants about, oh, well, the document says this, and I'm just using the information of, you know, about all their innocence and whatever. Like, absolutely. He can take whatever he wants from the documents and stuff like that, you know? But then again, then there's reality. Well, do you guys honestly think that a bear freaking scared those kids? Do you guys, who here actually believes that those children wandered off that property and they threw a blanket up in a tree and then made some miraculous freaking boot prints, you know, down the thing and made it that far all by themselves, you know, that they just wandered and could never be found, lost in the woods somewhere? Like, is this the land of reality or fucking make-believe on that shit? You know, there was nothing ever to show that. There's shit to show that Daniel planted that effing blanket because of his own words. Those boot prints, are they just a planted evidence as well? Or do they have nothing to do with the case whatsoever? But to think that these two children just wandered off that property, again, it's not that we know the answer, but what's the reality that two children, not one, but two, just wandered off the property? Nobody's seen them whatsoever. They freaking hike a freaking blanket into the tree, you know, and go pounce and leave a couple and then hoover out of there. It's just, it's so absurd to believe that that actually happened. Or is it more likely to be what typically happens with children that just suddenly go missing? Is that the parents are acting weird, their alibi or their timeline of their alibis suck ass, and that these children's life were taken, and that they're either in water or in the woods somewhere? Because that's the more realistic line of what happened to children when the actions are like this. Yeah, because that's like every normal case. And I hate to say normal because there's no normalizing taking lives of children or anybody for that matter. But sadly, it's what we would deem as a typical case of the bullshit that went on in the household, bunch of lies, cover up, and protecting their own asses, and why they haven't been seen of, no reward taken, the inconsistencies in the storyline, the bullshit that we're seeing with the parents, that would align with the fact that something happened to Jack and Lily. Anyways, guys, I'm probably 30 minutes longer than I was intending to be here. Jack and Lily need to be found, and people need to open their mouth and that they are heartless. Like, come on, it's time to fess up. Well, like I said, let's ask Daniel and Mila and Janie. You know, because to me, that's where the answers are lying, is right there. Probably somebody else as well. I feel like there's another person. No, underworld informants. Anyways. Oh, I wanted to show a picture that somebody sent me. Did you see the pic of Lily's hand? No, I don't know which one you're talking about. But I do quickly want to share this because somebody sent it to me, and I can't remember if I've seen it before. But I might have. But it's a cute little picture of Jack and Lily in the snow. Yeah, so I just someone just had sent that to me today, and I was like, have you seen this? And I was like, can't remember, because I've seen Ninchi put on a ton of pictures that every time sometimes I go, where'd you get all these pictures from? But it's just a sweet picture of Jack and Lily playing in the snow, and she has her like a little heart jacket on, and you know, Jack's in blue, and just innocent, beautiful children on there. Hi, Chelsea. Nice to see you too. Happy New Year, Chelsea. You know, we know that unless some miracle happens today and we hear of some charges or something being laid, other than that, hopefully, definitely to 2026 brings some answers for these beautiful children that deserve answers, you know? And, Daniel, he can sit there and not say anything anymore and think that he's going to somehow get a medal or something like that. I think he's delusional. I think that, like I said, that the answer lies within their home, and that it's just a matter. We're just going to have to wait for RCMP to do their job and connect all their dots and lay some charges if charges are going to be applicable here, and I feel like that they will be. Chris Dawson, no matter what, members have confirmed Malaya is in hospital. No family member has confirmed Malaya is in hospital. At the end of the day, whatever issues Malaya anybody has or whatever, want answers for Jack and Lily. If she wants to have a breakdown and confess anything, I'm willing for that. If it helps her relieve any anxiety or stress issues going on or, mental health issues, I'm down for that. I would never wish anyone ill will. I mean, Daniel's been lucky enough to have 9 lives and avoid or be in all these car crashes. And, he still comes out, unharmed pretty much. So, I have a feeling that God's kicking their asses and shit like that in certain ways. And the Lord works in mysterious ass ways is what I think about that. I don't have patience for bullshit when it comes to children. I don't have time for adult bullshit. Instead of focusing on Jack and Lily, and they want to focus on creators or crap like that. Like I said, get your freaking asses a little bit straight. Worry about the answers for Jack and Lily and stuff like that. Bring answers. That's what we want. We just want truth, right? Not all the fucking drama bullshit that goes with it, but sadly, that's the way. The truth will be told. It will be. Justice for Jack and Lily. Okay. Well, I guess with that being said, you guys, thank you to Haley. Thank you to, like I said, Nova, Charmaine, Shenanigans, Daphne, Justin, Clutch Some Pearls, Ninchi, all these great content creators that truly just want to find answers for Jack and Lily. And yeah, and I'm not sure if Shenanigans is live with Nova right now. When it comes to kids, I absolutely get savage at abusers. I do too. I have no patience at all for any sort of abuse to children. Just sad. 8 months later. 2 days is literally 8 months for Jack and Lily. Amen. Absolutely saying the most. Okay, well, I want all you guys to have a wonderful New Year's Eve. I don't think I'll be doing a live tonight anymore. I might, but I'm not going to keep my promise to that because I have other things I need to do today. And so, but I want to wish you guys, whatever you guys are doing, happy 2026 to you guys. Thank you for everyone that follows the channel, continues to follow the channel. If you're not subscribed and want to subscribe, I put a 5-hour a sub on this live today because again, it's not about ego. It's not about coin money to be made off of, say, Jack and Lily and stuff like that. What it's about is that there are people that are subscribed to the channel because they want to come to the channel and they want to get the notifications. So I put it on a 5-hour live because why do I want people that aren't subscribed to the channel having the ability to talk in here when they're not even subscribed to the channel? Or else they unsubscribe and try to resubscribe, right? I just wanted the people that are the truest form of subscribers to only be the ones allowed to talk in this particular live today, because it will always be about caring, about bringing awareness to Jack and Lily. It's not about how many people can I let talk in here? I just wanted it to limit it to the people that are truly subscribed to the channel. So thank you guys. And again, very much. Thank you. Good to see a lot of you. Can't remember when the last time I did a live was, to be honest with you. I think it was, I don't even know if it was 3 weeks ago, a month ago. I don't even remember. But, well, we did the super panel. The super panel, I guess. That was the last one. All right. You guys take care. I really got to get going out, though. Got stuff to work on today. So maybe see you later. Not sure. But let's say with that. Oh, I did want to say something. I noticed Russell McDonald. Do you know the one that wrote the songs "Come Home, Jack and Lily" and what was it? Please bring me home, Jack and Lily, and come home. Well, can't even think of the titles all of a sudden. For some reason, she took down her songs. I'm not sure what went on there, but she ended up taking down her songs and her thing, I noticed. So I'm not really sure because she was always, coming in here as well. So I'm not really sure, why she ended up doing that. Okay, so let's just quickly find the tribute video for Jack and Lily. And again, I want to apologize for not finishing the Christmas one. I'm so sorry about that. And I'm sorry that you felt the need to betray me, DT, and be such a, a person that's not trustworthy at all.
In the woods where shadows lay, Jack and Lily went to play. On a rainy May afternoon, now we whisper hope soft too. Echoes of laughter fill the air, but where are they? We stand in prayer. Oh, Jack and Lily, where have you gone? We'll hold on tight through this endless dawn. In our hearts forever you'll stay. With every prayer we send your way. Hundreds gathered, hearts so strong, searching deep where they belong. Through the trees and storms they roam, wishing every child came home. Fatigued but fierce they won't give in. For every soul we search within. Oh, Jack and Lily, where have you gone? We'll hold on tight through this endless dawn. In our hearts forever you'll stay. With every prayer we send away. We'll keep the hope alive today. In the silence, love will lead the way.
Please help bring us home.
I forgot that it mutes me. The minute I was playing it, it muted me. I'm so okay. My goodness. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, hopefully most people can hear me. But oh my god, now I gotta say that again. Okay. Hi, Carla. Thank you. I was gonna say I was gonna end the live, but I wanted to make sure that I really wish Kent. Okay, Kent's mother passed away on December 20th, and Kent's always been a very important person of this channel and a friend. Again, we've had differences of opinion about what happened to Jack and Lily and stuff like that. And obviously, like I said, I haven't done many lives, haven't, but Kent is, I know he's done some lives on some crime line and lie show and stuff like that. But I just wanted to give Kent a big hugs and sorry about your mother and stuff like that. And so, no, yeah, I'm not muted anymore. Yeah, I'm not muted anymore. So, anyways, give lots of hugs and loves to Kent when you do see him in someone's chat and stuff like that. Again, his mother passed away on December 20th, and just wanted to say big hugs to Kent and big hugs to everyone. And Belinda said, and all content creators, yes, anyone that cares for Jack and Lily, cares to find answers to all the content creators, whether I like you or not, all content creators. But anyways, so Lily and Jack always on our minds and in our hearts. So with that being said, I just wanted to make sure as I was sitting there playing this, I'm like, oh wait, no, I gotta say something for Kent. I haven't done a live in a while. So I just wanted to make sure I got that in there. Anyways, okay, I'm going to end the stream now, you guys. Thanks a bunch. Jack and Lily, if you haven't hit that like and the share, please do. 8 months in 2 more days for Jack and Lily. Have an amazing, happy New Year's, you guys. And happy 2026 coming in. All right, ending the live. Bye-bye.